Sound okay?
Yes.
I'm on the right mic this time, right?
Yeah, you sound fine. Hold on, let me check the Twitch audio really fast while I'm at it. Because I have it muted.
Quinn, are you still at the vendor there? No. Okay.
No, I'm back in the Snugpod. I now have like 5 projects in progress right now. 4. We're not going to count Volendrung. That's been sitting over there since like November. I like binge built that in like a day, and then it's just been sitting there since. I have not finished it.
Test, 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 test.
I need a dragon's blade. Whatever
A
that.
dragon's blade? I'm working on a first blade.
Whatever the one's called that the dragon hunters used. Just looks like a katana.
Oh, that's all. Then just get a katana. I mean, if you can make it. If you can buy it, why make it?
Yeah.
I just make things I can't buy.
I mean, if you look hard enough, I'm sure you could buy it.
Yeah, but they're specialized and they're expensive, and it's like
Yeah.
$20 for foam, or
Okay. I think I am
Or a few
good
$100.
on our side.
when I am done with this one sword I'm working on, I am gonna like show you guys because I am so proud of it. Because I have had to like go out of my way to like figure out different things to use for fasteners to screw it apart and put it together and make the seams seem seamless, and so it can, you know, like fit in a backpack for an airplane. And so I'm like really proud of this fucker.
That's awesome.
Nice. Do we have notes?
Yes,
Yeah.
there's show
Okay.
notes. There's real show notes.
They may be last minute, but they're there. They exist.
Ah, wrong app.
What do you guys think if we added in like a original character development prompt series? Because I think that was fun talking about that last time.
I mean, I don't care. That's fine. Like for people to answer or for us to answer?
Yeah, yeah, for people to answer. Just give a prompt.
Why
Something
not?
to think about. Because
Whew.
I am trying
Got
to work
lucky.
on fixing my murder hobo into not being a murder hobo. Because, oh dang, is she a murder hobo?
That's funny. Oops, that's not what I meant to do. Dang it. Oh, man. Yeah.
I'm looking at a ring.
I'm about to be too. Boom. Hiya! Yes! Whoop, whoop.
So very excited. Now here's the question: will you actually use it?
Maybe.
Since you're
I don't change my build.
yeah, you'd have to really redo some stuff there.
I mean, not too bad. My stuff is all mismatched anyway, if we're being honest.
Well, I mean, like your skills, any skills you're using for buffs, you don't need those.
That wouldn't be that bad, and
at least a lot of
I'm
them.
gonna be honest, I wasn't probably really using too many.
Well, there you go.
So, yeah, I don't know. Might not be too bad.
Minor.
Yep.
Let's see. Major
Oh,
brutality.
what am I doing?
Major sorcery.
I'm traveling in a Glen. Wait a minute. I am doing one thing. What's that one that's about to expire? This one.
What are my skills?
Murkwire.
My scrying
Doesn't matter where. Just go there.
Excavation are both halfway through level 9. And I did pick up some gold leads, so maybe if I knock those out, it'll level me up some. Anyway.
Do, do, do. Man, after doing the gold leads, you look at the other ones and they're like piece of cake.
Yeah, they're pretty ridiculously easy.
They scribe real easy. I remember the first time I looked at this though, I was like, what is this?
Honestly, all of them are... the scrying part's easy on all of them.
Oh crap. I missed one.
I just
That's
use the
okay.
thing that does the big honeycomb.
Yep.
And it's like I don't ever not get all of them.
Well, Mr. Fancy Pants.
Right?
I mean, do you not sometimes?
Yeah.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Hmm.
There's been a few times that I've not.
Hmm.
Okay. Now I'm coming to the Snugpod, because once you scry it, nothing can happen to it, so...
Will it just continue to show up on your map where it's at?
Yep.
Okay. I wasn't sure how that worked if you left it.
Yeah, it literally just stays there.
Do I want more hot chocolate or do I want water?
I don't know. How does your voice do with hot chocolate?
It sounds very chocolatey. I don't know.
Okay.
How does chocolate sound?
Well, typically for singers and stuff, chocolate's not necessarily the best because it gums you up, but I just ate a whole handful of chocolate eggs, so I'm probably not one to talk to about it.
Yeah, but that's also like chewy and sticky chocolate versus liquid, so...
I can't sit in the chair facing the right way.
Oh, do you need me to move it, or do you want to go sit in the other chair?
Hold on. Where's the other one?
It's the Telvanni chair on the other side of me.
Oh, sure. I'll sit in that one. Whatever. Oh, now I see it. It's so dark I couldn't see it at first.
The fancy impromptu chair I made when we had a guest.
When Lotus was here.
It's like, oh, hold on, give me a second. I gotta make you a chair. Let me just go over here and build you a chair quick. Video games are great.
Yeah. Okay, I gotta turn off the toggles because Never and I are the only ones in the party and he's the only name I can see. Okay, hold on. I will be right back. One quick thing and then I'll be ready to go.
Okay, yeah, one quick sec, and I'll be back.
I'll be ready to go. That might be seeing this later. I'm all alone. It's very scary. I don't know where I am. I don't know what those noises are. I fear I might be taken into a place far away from this world and eaten by plants, which is not so different than the fear I have of being eaten by the two wood elves in the room with me usually at this time. It's a very scary thing. If they hear this, there may be consequences. Please do not tell them I said such things.
Okay.
here.
There's nothing to go back and listen to. There's no secret audio.
I don't know what you were saying, but it was super creepy because I could just hear it through my headset, like just as it was sitting down.
I don't know what you're talking about.
On the edge of the bed. And I was like, what is he saying?
I don't know what you're talking about.
Like, creeper?
I have no idea what you're talking about.
Right. Sure.
There is no secret. There is no secret audio to go back and listen to.
I'm sure there is.
There is no secret audio.
Fantastic. I think I just heard you saying secret, secret, secret. Or something like that.
Mm-mm. Nope. Nope.
There's no secrets here.
Nope. I would never, ever, ever.
You
ever.
would never, because you're never.
I would never. How much never would a never, 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 if a never could never, never.
No.
I'm ready whenever you are. I'm gonna mute now. Bye!
Hey everybody, welcome back to A Snugpod Cast. I'm not entirely sure everyone was ready, but I got that vibe from the way everyone went silent, so we're gonna roll with it. I am never separate. I am your host, and I have fun stuff to talk about. And I'm all alone. Just kidding. I also have with me Gwen the Bard. What's up, friend?
I was muted when you said that, and I was about to start. I was laughing. It was like, yep. Glad I didn't go over that with laughter.
How are you?
I'm good. I'm here.
Good. Awesome.
I'm awake.
That's a good start. If you're going to do a podcast, being awake is right next to bare minimum of being alive. So, yeah, we have that.
Oh, good. I've got bare minimum then.
You've got bare minimum.
Just kidding.
But who are you?
I don't know. Who am I?
I don't know. It's kind of crazy. We can't figure it out.
I wouldn't say bare minimum, though. She's wearing that fancy vet trial skin.
Okay. Okay. I did do bare minimum to get the child skin, though. Actually,
Pretty much.
Okay,
So
anyway.
that is gone crazy. What's up?
Nothing much.
Sweet.
I'm here.
We're all
I'm
here.
Back in the proper Oblivion plane, or not Oblivion plane.
The proper non-Oblivion plane. Yes.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. I'm tired. It's fine.
Yep. Awesome. Cool. All right. Well, what have you been up to lately, Gwen? Anything in-game, out-of-game, fun stuff?
In-game, well, I just played 2 Tales of Tribute matches, and totally, of course, win when I did not pick up the daily, because that's how that works. And then I picked up the daily afterwards, and then I lost, because that's how that works.
Every time.
I've been trying to get Moore's Whispers. Been failing. We all got lost together in the Atonement of Annihilation, right? Or Blackwood. We had to try to find each other. Yeah, we did. And we failed.
I forgot about that.
Right?
We got all stuck on different islands.
We did. It was great. It was horrible. And then we had to run the Imperial City sewers, and I, of course, was like, oh yeah, we'll just run through this. It's quick. I know how to do this one. This is easy. Thinking of White Gold Tower, and learned I never actually have run Imperial City sewers yet. So I abandoned the quest to not turn in so I could actually enjoy it later. And yeah.
Nice.
I will say, at least the person that was our random pug wasn't bad. They were plowing through too, so that was the
They
good part.
were Speedy Gonzalez. Because
Yeah.
initially I was like, oh, well, we'll just do the quest. And it's like, never mind, we will not do the quest.
Yep.
Yeah, the tank wasn't even really doing any real tanking, and we still managed to get through it. So,
I mean, it's a base game dungeon. It's fine.
Yeah.
The tank didn't have to tank.
Right.
Well, no,
good thing.
Imperial City Prison came when Cyrodiil came. Like, I think, I'm not sure that ICP was in the game when it launched. Oh, now I'm gonna look it up. It's still base
Because
game now,
It's
but
close enough. It's
Yeah.
close enough.
It's an early dungeon, one way or the other.
It's one of
This is
those,
true.
if you don't have it during Mid-Year Mayhem, it's free in the Crown Store things.
Is it only free during Mid-Year Mayhem?
I have no idea. It might be free year-round. They just might advertise it during Mid-Year Mayhem. I don't know. I don't pay attention to that. Remember, it was my first time actually going into that dungeon for some reason.
that's true.
I don't know how I avoided that this long.
A lot of games seem to be taking the approach of making player versus player environments free for everybody. I mean, it helps boost the player base for people trying to get into that.
For
You
sure.
know, some people just want to kill each other. It's fine.
All right. So did you find that yet, Crazy? Or are you looking that up right now?
I'm looking it up right now.
Right.
The only reason I say that is because there was a time when, in order to access Imperial City, like, your faction had to own, like, it wasn't unlocked like it is now to everyone. I feel like I remember that from when I first started playing the game. But my brain hurts, so I'm not sure.
Cool. Well, while you're looking that up, I have actually been able to play a little bit. Not a ton, but a little bit. And I decided, especially, I wanted it anyway, but after we had Lotus on recently and he talked about how much fun he was having using Oaken Soul and playing around with that, I was like, all right, I'm going to try to get this thing done. So I started farming the leads, and right before we got on, I had logged out last time next to one of the volcanic vents, and when I logged in, it was active, so I went ahead and participated in that, and once it was done, grabbed the chest equivalent thing, whatever that's called, and my lead dropped, so knocked that out, and I'm now the proud owner of a shiny Oaken Soul ring. Woohoo!
Woohoo!
And yeah, so I'll play around with setting some stuff up with that. Maybe after we're done with the show, we'll see. I have, in the process of hunting for those leads, grabbed several other leads I need to knock out too. A couple for some of the other mythics, and a couple for some furnishings and things. And yeah, that's been about the equivalent, other than, you know, us running the dungeon and the public dungeon, trying to get Gwen's lead, and other than that, that's been about my game time. So yeah, any luck yet there, Crazy?
Yeah, I just finally I have been farming off and on for that last lead that I needed for Oaken Soul, pretty much off and on all week, and it completely eluded me until we just started the show a few minutes ago. So I
There was much
finally.
Yanus.
So what'd you say?
There was much Yanus.
Yeah, there was so much Yanus. I think I yelled "Yay!" into the mic when it happened.
I had to take off my headset. You were so loud.
I'm so sorry.
It was a well-deserved loud, though.
So I finally got it. So now I have it on PlayStation as well, and hooray! Now I can mess around with it when I want to, if I ever have time, which I might never.
If you ever do, yeah. Yep.
So, yeah, I got to do that. Other things that I've been up to, I tried Vet Moongrave Fane last night. Got completely owned at the Geyser Boss. I was running it with Toasted Peanut and Max and Geek from the PC side of Lore Seekers, and I'm gonna tell you what, they're amazingly patient and awesome, because I spent a lot of time dead. Particularly during that boss. Like, the first few things were not a big deal on Vet, and I'm like, okay, we actually might, like, this might be good. We might do this in a reasonable amount of time. And then we got to that, like, blocks where you have to cover the, the fireball geysers thing, and there's one particular phase where it kept putting them on the same side of the arena, and I just, like, neither P nor I could hit the blocks consistently enough to get them over there. But it was also, like, almost 2 in the morning for me, so there's that. But we did that. Last week, when I wasn't here and you all did the show, I was actually meeting Cash. So I went and met him and hung out with him, and also another lore seeker, Booch. So I saw both of them and got to see them in real life, and that was awesome. So something that I mentioned before to people is it's so awesome to actually meet people in real life, and I've met both of you, so I know we've talked about it before, but it was fun to kind of again meet more people and whatnot.
That's not the first time you've met Cash, though, right?
It was.
I thought you had met him before. Have you met Jibs before?
I met Jibs.
Okay, all right.
Yeah.
I was thinking you met Cash.
I met Jibs last, like, February,
Okay.
and then I hadn't met Cash yet, but I met Cash last week. And other than that, the only thing I did is Toasted Peanut and I managed to squeeze in another Lore Seekers Live, finally. And right now we're currently in pre-production for the 5th anniversary show. So there you go. That's about it with me. It's been a little busy since I haven't been here.
A little bit.
Just a tap.
Yeah. Cool. Well, we've got some news, but before we get into that, I have a little bit of an announcement. This may come as a shock to some people. It was a bit of a shock to me, but this is not ESO related, but I thought maybe it was something to share. Apparently, because I thought this person, I would have thought that this person lived long enough ago. They've probably been gone for years, but the person responsible for creating throat lozenges recently passed away. And I think they are going to allow people to come visit, but just if you do plan on going to the visitation, just be aware that there's no coffin at the funeral.
I knew it wasn't going to be a serious announcement. I knew
That wasn't even a good joke.
I knew it.
Hey, Gwen, I'm not sure if you remember or not, but I'm a dad.
Oh my god.
Okay. So getting back on topic with ESO and good bad jokes. So we're going to talk about what I've been doing on the PC side of things.
There you go.
Yeah, please do.
Get
us out of here, Gwen.
I decided to enter a screenshot contest for just giggles, right? This was back when we were doing the Morrowind thing, and the results finally got posted. And so, of course, I'm running around Morrowind. And so I decided, it was themed, okay? What was the theme? I'll tell you the quick little themey bit here. It was for the Lore Seekers, okay? So it was something about create an album cover for a Tamrielic top 40 hit, okay? I got third place, which third place is A place. I'll take it, right? Especially when, PC newbie doesn't have a lot of gold. So of course this all went to like my backpack space, which is needed. So the name of our album, which I'm really proud of, by the way, is Rage Against the Tribunal by Sixth House Records. And our songs, with a few featured highlighted songs of Chimer Chameleon, Ain't No Red Mountain High Enough, Sothasill's Dead, Heart of Shore, and Devil and Dagoth.
All I can hear is Chimer Chameleon. Yeah.
Yep, that's gonna be stuck in your head forever now. Congratulations.
Oh boy. Oh,
Awesome.
So good. Yeah, I mean, we all know I'm crazy, but I can't seem to find when ICP was in the game, or if it was in the game from the beginning or not, but I don't know. I feel like I remember there was some sort of a block to it but I can't remember
Do you
what.
remember
All it
back
shows
in the
is...
day when you could... I'm tangenting.
No, that's okay.
Do you remember back in the day when you could, like, run around Cyrodiil and just walk into the sewers?
Mm-hmm.
That was fun.
Yeah, that's what I was talking about. You had to get into the sewers. You had to control. Well, you could go into the sewers, but there was something about like to get to like White Gold Tower or to unlock ICP, you had to own something. I thought, but maybe I don't recall. I don't recall. It does say that the original quest for the Undaunted, was disabled as of patch 2.6.4 because that's when they went to 1 Tamriel.
That would make sense.
So that would mean that it was there originally, but I really thought that there was something about it. I don't remember. It doesn't matter. It's the complete complete thing. But different tangent.
Yep.
But anyway, there you go. So I learned nothing. Thanks, Google.
You mean Google's not all-knowing?
No, but you know who is?
Uh...
Hermaeus Mora.
Oh. Okay.
I was about to say Sothasil because now I have, like, Bela Lugosi is dead, but Sothasil is not dead.
Well, that's true too. That's true too. Amazing.
Songs I could listen to forever. Anyway.
Well...
Oh boy.
We have news. There is news this week. There's
we-
a lot of news, but what we do have...
There is some news about new things. What kind of new things can we get these days? Anything new for any of our Sigic devices?
You mean wallpapers?
Yeah, that. Have y'all looked at these yet? I have not. I was gonna.
Wow.
I was
He
going.
said, yeah, that.
Well, I was going to look at them as we talked about them, so so I could be surprised and you could get the live reaction.
Ooh. Okay, well, what's your live reaction?
I see. We got a mushroom and a floaty book.
Oh yeah, but there's way more than that if you go to the media page.
There's a media page.
Yeah,
Oh.
It's the one that you can click on in the article.
Oh, indeed. There we go. All right. So if you need some new wallpapers for your computer or your phone, I'm assuming, tablets or whatever, they've got some stuff you can install. Some of these are pretty cool. Are some of these? Are these all wallpapers? It's a bunch of
I
like.
don't know what some of these you're talking about. I only see 2.
You have to
Under
click the
screen- there's-
media page.
Yeah, you click the media page, and then there's concept art of Hermaeus Mora's Infinite Realm, endless libraries of Apocrypha, and then a bunch of armor, as well as a Necrom concept art. Then if you look at the screenshots, there is a Balsonar, a Companions, Arcanist.
You
Call
lost
Forth
me
the
at
Power of
Apocrypha. I see
Yeah.
Apocrypha. That's
And that's all the further you're going?
Yep.
I will
I'm
say
stuck.
I've tried to stay kind of blind to the new dungeons. I have not seen Balsonar at all, but I have seen bits and pieces of the other one. Why am I having a brain fart? Yeah, Scrivener's Hall. That's what I was trying to say.
That's
I
what
haven't
I've
watched.
been playing.
I haven't watched mechanics. I haven't watched anything like that. I just have like lurked in a few people's streams while they've been playing.
I've
so.
been like even heavier on the avoiding stuff on that one. Like I just every time I'll watch streams. I love hanging out in streams, but especially when they first launched, any streamer who was playing those, I'd hang out in the stream, and then once it got to the part like, okay, we're gonna start dungeons now, I'm like, bloop, see ya.
Apparently the this is not spoilery at all, but apparently Scrivener's Hall, the hard mode and vet at that is very like decently hard according to the PC people. Like a couple hours hard. I mean, obviously people will get better and better at it, but I know there were some vet groups of lore seekers that were in there in the hard mode the other night for like well over an hour.
I remember because they popped in. They're like, "Oh my gosh, you guys are in Discord
Yeah.
while you were playing games," and you called it because I was like, "They're gonna be all old people. Get off my lawn! You have your own in-game PlayStation thing." And
No, they were happy we were there.
yeah, and it's almost like you text them to go. You need to prove Gwen wrong. You need to come in here and be like super excited because then 2 of them did it because there was only the 3 of us running dungeons with a random. So then 2 different people came in and said hi, and we're all happy. I'm like,
I did not tell them to come in. I did not tell them to come in, but I did tell them that I was going to try and convince you two to play via Discord because I wanted to see how it worked. So I did not pressure them to show up in the chat, but I did tell them that we were going to possibly be in the chat because they had already asked me if we had tried it yet. So Peanut and Matt were both like, "Have you tried it on console yet?" And I was like, "No, but I will." So, and afterwards, they were both just excited to have some console peeps in the Discord to talk to. So,
I'm probably going to be hanging out in there more often now, though. Now that
for sure.
Because like I thought of that. I thought of hopping into it initially when we hopped on for tonight while I was waiting on you guys. But then I realized because we came to that conclusion where we can't record through Discord, I might as well just wait in our regular chat for you. But I'll probably, when I'm just hanging out to play and have a minute, I'll probably start hanging out in the Discord chat just in case anyone else wants to chat.
Yeah, so just so we're clear on what we're talking about for anybody listening that's unaware, Discord recently got integrated into PlayStation 5, where you can use it. You can use voice chat in Discord through your console, and it does work pretty well as far as just being able to chat. But be aware if you're planning on using it for any kind of streaming or anything like what we're doing. It will only record the audio of the person who is hosting the stream or broadcast or whatever. So you can't use it to record group chat if you're wanting to record that for purposes of putting up on YouTube or a podcast or anything like we're doing. So just be aware of that. You still have to use party chat if that's your goal.
Yeah, we did try.
Go through other means of other equipment, things like that. So
we did try. We wanted to see if it would work.
Yeah. There's even a video on the YouTube channel of us trying Discord on PS5, and you only hear me because I hosted it.
Sounds like Never's talking to himself.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Yep.
What I will say really quick for anybody who's not as Discord savvy or not as familiar, for our console peeps, particularly on the PlayStation side, and I think it probably works the same on Xbox, to use it, all you simply have to do is open Discord on whatever device it is, whether that be a laptop, a phone, a tablet, whatever it is that you're using. You open it up, you tap the channel you want to join, and rather than joining the channel, you scroll down on the menu and it will say join on console, or like switch to console or something like that, and you just click it and it drops you into the chat and then bumps the audio to your console. So and apparently it sounds really good because all the PC people were like, yeah, you sound great, you sound real clear. So that's really awesome.
Yeah, so if they ever give us the ability to actually record with it, that would be great. If anybody has an ear over at Sony or Discord or whoever's responsible for that decision, tell them that we need an option to do that so that we can maybe have people from other platforms come on and do the show with us sometime. And that'd be cool, because that was what we were hoping for. We were hoping that we'd be able to get PC or maybe Xbox folks on and have them on the show, even though they're not on the same platform with us. And sadly, that will not be the case at this present time.
Bummer.
Big old bummer.
Yep. We'll find a way. There'll be a way at some point.
There's always a way.
Yeah.
Is there a will?
No, I was going to say never say never.
Never. Never.
Thank you. All right, moving on.
Well, earlier you said never mind, so I have to mind.
What are you mining?
No, mind. I have to mind.
Yours?
She said never mind. I have to mind. I have to listen and obey. Mind. Like mind your manners, mind your parents.
But okay, well, I was gonna say what did you mine, but never mind. I guess no
I,
appetite
I
for
don't. I mind everything now because she said never mind.
you. Okay. Anyway,
So I have to mind. So when she says never say never, I have to say never.
remember how we were talking about screenshots and
Yeah.
somehow
Yeah.
got here?
Yeah.
That was a full-on derail right there.
I
Yeah.
don't even know.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know how much we can talk about screenshots. I mean,
No, I know. We don't need to talk about it anymore. I just thought it was funny that somehow we ended up where we ended up and started on the news and media section on the chat.
it's all right.
Amazing.
So, yeah, so we'll move on from wallpapers. They're there. I'll link them. You can go look. There's other stuff there too, videos and also some music and stuff at the bottom. If you click the media link in the page that I will link, and it'll take you there. So, yeah. Next thing up, we have an ESO developers share their love of Morrowind style people and beasties.
I like that they use the word beasties.
Like, I haven't watched this yet, but if anyone says they love cliff racers, I know they're lying through their teeth.
You don't love
the top photo is one.
I know, that's why I said it.
You don't love cliff racers?
I hate cliff racers so much that the achievement of killing 100 cliff racers, I did not actually complete until December 6th, December 6th, 2022. And it was purely by accident because I was helping someone else out with a thing.
I have no idea if
Now
I've
I'm
gotten
just-
that or not.
Fast forwarding through it muted to see what pops up. Okay, I see a Guar. I see a Nixad. Let's see. What else? Oh, a Cliff Racer. Oh, there they are. I don't know. Vardvarks? That's what
Everyone
Dom
loves
likes.
Vardvarks.
Dom
Everyone
loves
loves
Vardvarks. I don't know. I'll have to go back and listen to it. It's not a very long video. It's only about 4 minutes long, so that's cool.
Yeah.
Definitely have to watch it at some point.
Yeah, I'll link that too, since none of us have apparently watched it either. So this is the kind of
Okay.
show prep you get here, guys.
We haven't watched it, but also, what's your favorite Morrowind beastie, then? Let's just ask ourselves that question. And what's your favorite, like, landscape or stylized thing that's particular to Morrowind?
I think the giant mushrooms are kind of fun.
Uh-huh. I do too.
And I'm trying to recall. I can't remember if these things are specific to. You know what? Maybe it's the guar that I'm thinking of. So never mind. I'm trying to. You remember the movie Tremors? Did you ever see that?
Yes.
Do you know the second one had the ones that ran around on two legs, right?
Yes,
Yes,
maybe?
we're not going to say the name of those though because it is a family-friendly show.
Oh, yeah, that's true.
I don't even remember what they were called, so yeah, that's fine.
Good. All right.
But I was trying to think, is it the guar that look like those, or is there another creature that I'm thinking
The
of?
Aelts. The Aelts.
Oh,
Or
the
Alts.
Aelits?
That.
Yeah, are those specific to Morrowind?
No, I don't know if the Aelits are
No,
specific.
because we also get them over in like Cyrodiil.
Yeah, I was gonna say you get,
Okay.
Because I
You get
remember the
'em
first
in-
time I ran into them was in Oblivion.
Okay.
You get them in like Grahtwood, I think too.
Okay. Well, I wasn't going to say they were my
Baltar.
favorite anyway. I was just going to say that they made me think of the
That
movie.
they're ugly.
That they made me think of Tremors, and Tremors was a big part of my childhood. Watching that with my dad. But
See,
Anyway.
to me they look more like a stylized Yoshi, but sure.
That's true.
okay.
What about you, Gwen? What do you like?
You're asking me what I like about Morrowind?
Nothing. But I hate it.
That actually brings up a lot of questions though, because knowing what I know about mushrooms and knowing how much sunlight and stuff that place gets, and then plus with the heat and the volcanoes, how are those mushrooms as big as they are and lasting as long as they do when normally mushrooms like pop up throughout the night with the dew and stuff and then they like die in the morning during the heat?
Superhuman.
And just the sunlight existing?
I mean, the people walk around wearing like crab bug armor, so, you know. Yeah.
Well, let's think about who controls Morrowind. It's you know.
You're right though. No, she has a point because the bug armor, which means large bugs, which means more of a dense ozone and thick air in order for them to grow that big. So that might have an effect on it.
Is it the Ashlanders? Which tribe is it that they're... Isn't it like a giant crab body or something? Is that Morrowind? That's Morrowind, right?
That is Morrowind.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, like, mud crabs on steroids. Yeah.
Well, I was going to say that, you know, given who controls it and the tribunal and all of that stuff, maybe it's not even a real place. It's just a big acid trip.
Well, I suppose. Could be.
You know, magic mushrooms. Yeah.
My favorite Morrowind animals are probably the Vardvarks, regardless how short of a life they have on Nirn. And my favorite scenery is probably all of the ancestral tombs.
That's cool. That's definitely very different.
All right. What about you?
I think for me, yeah, probably like Vardvarks. I like Vardvarks. I think they're super cute. I like the large mushrooms, but I don't like the ones that are all like, I don't know, that look like actual fungus, for lack of better words. I know all mushrooms are, but I like the ones that are like a little more like high fantasy looking, you know, that are they kind of remind me of like the Alice in Wonderland style, that are just like a stalk and then a big mushroom cap. I think those are really fun when they have those in Morrowind. But actually one of my favorite things, and I know they're not your favorite, Gwen, but I really like going into Vivec City and looking at all of the tile work that's in the top of the cantons.
Oh, the tile work is great. It actually reminds me of Zelda in Ocarina of Time when you're running around in like the Zoroa area. It just feels like a beach house and is super relaxing, which is the best part because it's the opposite of the rest of the icky volcano red stuff.
Yeah, the cantons themselves are confusing as all get out until you learn like how the stair systems work and stuff in them. But like the top of Vivec's Palace and some of the other ones that have like you know, the grocers and all those things in it that have that really beautiful tile work in the top, I think are so cool. And then, to be honest, I think my other favorite animal is probably the stilt striders.
You know what? You didn't say cliff racers, so we're
I
good.
did not. Even though the stilt striders look so weird, they remind me of the concept of like giant camels because they're very hardy. They transport people from place to place, and then the way that the like caravan is that's set up on their back when you go on the top of the towers just reminds me of like having kind of like a Middle Eastern or like a sort of gypsy, which actually that's probably not an appropriate word to use anymore, but you know, like a Romani,
a caravaner,
caravaner sort of vibe. So yeah, I like the stilt striders. I think they're cool. I also think that they make a really interesting noise. That weird, like, sort of mooing. I don't know. It's not really a moo, but
hungry stomach.
It's just kind of a weird.
I tried to think of it, and
it's kind of a weird echo, like.
I know what you're talking about, and I tried to think of it, and I couldn't think of it because my brain just hopped to like Cricketune from Pokemon because it's a weird bug noise.
So anyway, I think they're kind of fun. They also look really weird because they have abnormally long legs, but that's okay. They have to walk big distances very quickly.
They're great though, yeah. I think it's interesting how you thought camels, since they're so large, I normally would just assume people would think like elephants.
Mm-mm.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't know. For me, I just get like camel vibes. I don't know why. I just do.
It's the mushrooms.
I think it's the actually, honestly, it's the mushroom. I actually think why it reminds me of a camel is how disproportionate they are. Because to me, I feel like camels, as animals, look just slightly disproportionate because they have extremely long legs and then kind of a small body for their height, right? So that's what I feel like the stilt striders remind me of. They have really, like, super long legs, and then they're kind of stocky in the body. Whereas an elephant, to me, feels more evenly distributed. That was weird. Okay.
Do you know, if not for the mushrooms in Morrowind, that area would probably be pretty boring.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. There'd be
I
no
agree.
fun guy.
Oh, boy.
This is what you get from me. Dad jokes every chance I get. Sorry, can't help it. I could help it. Not. Anyway. Another thing I think is kind of neat about Morrowind, I think ties back into, I guess, the lore and is, the is it asteroid? What is the thing? The thing falling?
Bardau? Giant rock?
Yeah. That thing.
Yeah. Put there by good old Sheogorath.
Yeah.
Vivek's the one holding it up.
Yeah.
That's the whole, like, quest line there.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was a Sheogorath thing. Of course it was a Sheogorath thing.
Yep.
Yeah, I think that you're talking about just like scenery and whatever.
I do like Bardau.
I think that's kind of a cool thing. It's
That's one of my favorite songs on the soundtrack from Morrowind.
It has its own song.
It does.
Nice. I haven't
I
actually
think it's
played through
called
the quest.
Shadow of Bardau or something like that.
Yeah, that's fitting. Yeah, I
Nice
started that
soundtrack.
quest on another character, but then switched to this character as a main and never finished going through it on the other characters. So at some point, maybe I'll get back around to. I'll just start over and do it on this character. But yeah, cool. Anything else as far as favorite stuff about Morrowind?
Naryu.
Naryu.
Naryu is
I'm not
pretty
going
cool.
to say Naryu, but I'm pretty sure most people would say Naryu. So we got to throw that in there.
And everybody's happy because they finally got their hair.
Vea hair.
Their Vea hair.
Everyone wants Vea hair. It looks
Doesn't look good
like
on any
trash
of
on
my
my character.
Yeah, me too. Anyway.
Don't think it would look good on my Khajiit, so
You should try it.
pass. Not
All
my
right.
not my flavor. Yeah. So, all right. Well, again, I'll also link that, and you can go check that video out, see what the devs have to say about it. See what some of their favorite stuff about Morrowind is, and just another thing they're doing to get people kind of hyped and ready for the upcoming chapter. So,
Heck yeah.
which will be here pretty soon. It's coming up in June. So,
Things go by faster than we think.
yeah.
Gwen and we might get to play it, Gwen. We don't know.
Oh, yeah. That's next month, right?
I'm so excited. especially
Nutty.
because we didn't
It's
get
less
you-
than a
get
month.
chance
It's
to,
the
like, do
20th
that
and it's on the
last
12th.
one. Yeah,
Nice.
yeah, that is less than a month now because it is the 19th.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's funny. You said it's the 20th and it's the 19th for us. Time travel.
I know. Sorry.
You're a day closer. It's not fair. Cool.
Speaking of time travel. Just kidding.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
I was gonna say, speaking of time travel, House Telvanni is pretty powerful with magic, so they could probably time travel.
Lore Master Archive time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There we go. Nice little segue. I was about to say we're done with the news. Let's do that. So go for it.
Maybe, I don't know. That's a great segue too. Never.
Gwen,
And
didn't you
now
say
we
you
all
wanted to
sit
read
here
that?
quiet.
Oh, I'm just. Give me a second. Sheesh.
Oh my! Are we out of practice?
Oh.
Do we even podcast, bro? I'm just kidding.
Oh, we do, but we don't practice.
I know. I'm just teasing. I'm teasing.
Story time.
Story time. Yeah. The Lore Masters archive this time was on House Telvanni. Pretty exciting. And I think we know somebody who wants to do a Diva Fear reading.
Oh, you're giving me the gigglies. You're making it hard. All right.
I'm sorry.
That's okay.
Okay, so shall I answer, or shall I read the questions, or never?
Yeah,
Would you like to read the questions?
Yeah, you guys can take turns reading the questions, but I'll do the Deviant Fear part.
Okay.
Well, I will try to. I didn't get a chance to actually look up his voice again in practice, but
Okay.
I think I got kind of close. His fangirls can judge me.
All right. All right. Well, I'll lead you in. I'll read this one-liner at the top. Okay. Are you ready? It says, gain greater insight into the mysterious and powerful House Telvanni with an all-new Lore Masters archive from the great sorcerer Divathir himself.
I am Diviathir, greatest mage of our era, master of extraplanar travel, renowned scholar of Daedric artifacts, and generous patron to the University of Gwyn. I have been asked as part of the university's ongoing series to provide you, the layperson, with knowledge about the wider world. If you're reading this, it is my assumption you have wits enough to understand the import of my words. Settle yourself and attend. The subject in discussion today is the Great House Telvanni. In truth, I imagine I was the only individual of any import who deigned to respond to the submitted questions. Take my words as truth, or don't. It matters very little to me. My only goal in responding to those inquiries is to somewhat lift the veil of secrecy on the greatest of the great houses of Morrowind, to provide beyond a shadow of a doubt the primacy, power, and position in the world. House Telvanni stands alone. If you learn nothing else here today, learn that.
You want me to start?
Sure.
That's an Argonian name there, right?
Mm-hmm.
Has House Telvanni always controlled the area surrounding Necrom, or has that land changed hands multiple times throughout history? I get the impression the political map of Morrowind is always shifting, with the different Dunmer houses enforcing ancestral claims, purchasing or inheriting land, and finding many ways to manipulate their way to the top. What's the history of this so-called Telvanni Peninsula in that regard?
In reviewing the submitted questions, this issue of geography and politics seems paramount in importance. It arose in several questions in various ways. Let's deal with this directly. Maps are tools, nothing more, nothing less. Standing in the Ashlands, a wayfinding map is a tool of survival, able to assist you in finding your way to safety. Similarly, a ship's map may aid a sailor in finding a calm harbor far from home, but political maps, maps that claim to represent the truth of land claimed by force of blade and spell, these maps aren't tools for the reader, they're tools for the map makers. They speak of great strength when perhaps none exists. They speak of boundaries and borders that may exist only in the minds of people burdened by over heavy crowns. To offer a contemporary example, have you ever seen a map of the front in the war between the three alliances? Do you believe that map was accurate for more than a day at most? And as always, remember that every written thing you read is subjective, even the words of Divathir. This is all context. With that in place, the historian's questions are easily answered. The great houses have skirmished to claim the length and breadth of the peninsula in the same way they have warred for control of Vardenfell or Stonefalls or Deshaun. Any maps that claim to fully represent political control of a reign as heavily contested as Morrowind are guidelines at best. Even today, as the Three Banners War rages, my people continue their great game of strike and counter-strike. Gloved hands grip gilded blades as the strong vie to rule the weak. All that said, I would be remiss in not issuing a firm and clear warning. Anyone claiming that the great House Telvanni is not master of its domain is sorely mistaken. It is called the Telvanni Peninsula, for the house controls the whole of the territory from its base to its tip, crowned by the island palace of Port Telvanus beyond. The city of Necrom, of course, is a somewhat complicated subject, which I will address on. But if you have reason to fear the great house, do not sail for Firewatch. Stay far from Gorm. House Telvanni's rule within these borders is undisputed, and its reach, its power, its vengeance is a terrible thing to behold.
Why are there quite a few Telvanni using the Magister title? As the Telvanni title of Magister is when you announce you deserve to be an Archmagister over the current one, and there's quite a few Telvanni being called Magister, like Dratha, Thorana, Gothran, and Shelreni Barrow in the Telvanni Peninsula.
An understandable confusion. Titles in House Telvanni are not inherited. They are not granted, bequeathed, bought, sold, or traded. They are earned. They are taken. And if you do not have the strength, the will, the political acumen to hold that title, well, there's always another eager house member behind you waiting to claim what is rightfully theirs. Well, in the past, claiming the title Magister could be seen as a threat. That gilded blade again. Archmagister Nellos O'Theory has actually encouraged the greatest of the house to take on this title if they think they can defend it. O'Theory's hand is a steady one upon the great ship that is Telvanni. In this age of three alliances, the great mages of the house have little interest in the ponderous work of politics that the Archmagister title would necessitate. In truth, Nellos, like all scholars, wishes to be left alone to accomplish his own studies. Further complicating this is the reality that beneath the Telvanni Council proper, a number of ad hoc conclaves and assemblies form regionally as required. Nothing in the great house can be accomplished without furious debate, after all, and, if needs be, a bit of fire and brimstone to clarify any conscientious points. In short, the Magisters are dangerous, self-selecting nest of snakes that greatly enjoy their station and power, and nominally make ready to put forth a new leader should the need arise. A nest of snakes, I might add, I have no interest in joining. Am I making myself plainly heard, Shelreni Barrow?
Two Telvanni walk into a corner club. Are they allowed to stay, or do they get kicked out?
The traditional answer to this joke inside the great house is they stay. They buy the building, everyone inside, and work the loudest of the lot to death. I think it's rather quite funny.
It is something of an open secret that there are a great number of downright heretical members of the House Telvanni who spurn the tribunal. How does the house keep themselves from the ire of the ordinators?
Heresy in the eye of the beholder. Do you think the Master of Morrowind is kept awake at night by the thought members of House Telvanni do not worship at his feet? In truth, the ordinators are welcome within Telvanni lands, as long as they are on official business. No one can truly know the mind of a god, not even one such as myself, but I believe the respect the great house has for the tribunal is reciprocated, or, to borrow a phrase I heard from my groundskeeper the other day, we tend our stocks and they tend theirs.
Honor to your house, sir. A week ago, I met a mage of your house from Cedrith Mora who rode one of the strangest beasts I've ever seen. It looked like a horse, those mammals from the west, but it was made from spores and fungi. And as much as that is puzzling itself, I'm curious why one would shape it after that instead of something belonging to our own great fauna such as Gwar, Nixox, or a silthopper.
One of the privileges of being Archmagister is you need not explain yourself. I was in the room when Nellos himself outlined the specifications for this creature to his quarter of Might Quartagus, the best in Morrowind. Based on my limited knowledge of the Archmagister's past, I would hazard he took a liking to the horse during one of his sojourns in Wayrest Sentinel or High Isle. As an aside, I have never met a person who more enjoyed 24 raven pie. His ability to dismantle a whole serving with merely his fingers and a fork speaks to an impressive understanding of transfiguration magics.
With Necrom being one of the holiest cities in Morrowind, where is the presence of Indoril said to closely be tied to the temple and therefore Necrom? Has the land around Necrom always been Telvanni, or has it passed hands over the centuries?
An excellent question and an amusing name. We have certainly discussed the Quintox nature of political control in the region. I will not rehash that subject, but Necrom is a unique situation worth elaborating on. As part of the Great House Tavani's choice to reject the Ebonheart Pact, a choice I was consulted on naturally, the issue of Necrom was immediately dealt with. Necrom has stood as the spiritual heart of regional ancestor worship since before the houses were formed. It has been claimed in campaign after campaign over the centuries, a worthy prize to any that can hold it. The Council understood that the new reality of House Tavani's extraterritoriality would not withstand the cultural need for my people to visit their honored dead, and so one of the first sessions arranged between the barristers of the Pact and the barristers of the Great House was dedicated to Necrom's nominal independence. Necrom was held in trust by the Keepers of the Dead, the vigilant attendants to the city and the necropolis beneath. Any who wish to honor their ancestors are welcome there, be they Indoril, Redoran, or otherwise. The Great House Tavani recognizes the important cultural significance of the city, and its great pride that we ensure safe passage for any penitents seeking to reach the City of the Dead.
I know that Dunmer inter their remains in ancestral family tombs, or in a City of the Dead like Necrom, where they can later be summoned to communicate with their descendants. But do non-Dunmer people who, say, got married into a Dunmer house be also afforded these privileges and also communicate with their descendants even though they are not Dunmer themselves?
A progressive. As with so many things in the Ashlands, the answer to this question depends on where and when you ask it. Traditionally, smaller communities maintain a hard and fast rule against non-Dark Elves being interned with their family crypts. Larger cities, like Mournhold or Ebonheart, are more open-minded. But, even in those cosmopolitan communities, you're unlikely to find more than a handful of foreign names on the plaques beside a tomb. I'm unfamiliar with how the Keepers of the Dead feel about such arrangements, but having had the displeasure of speaking with one of their curates who had the imaginative function of a particularly slow-witted Gwar, my guess is they're not thrilled. I support whatever choice a venerated family might make, of course. I'd suggest asking ancestors directly what their opinion might be. After all, a prospective outlander addition to the family crypt is joining an august and revered congregation, one which might have strong feelings on the matter.
I am curious to the House Telvanni traditions and ceremonies of the remains of members of the house. Do they differ from the practices of other houses? What is the Telvanni belief if the remains of the dead are not interred properly? Are the spirits of their dead able to move on if their remains are intentionally held away from said tombs? I'm just a curious, law-abiding Argonian.
How droll. I would be speaking tersely with university editors about the propriety and framing of these questions going forward. The Great House sits in a position of primacy regarding Dark Elf funerary traditions. Some elders within the house claim that their observances predate the Battle of Mountain, and in fact are a pure distillation of chimeric ancestor worship with only slight adaptations for this modern era. You need only look to the writings of Saint Vurius to see why House Tavani understands that the proper veneration of the dead is a sacred charge. Justice is ephemeral, duty is slavery, trade and culture are ash and the bonfire of history. Binding yourself to these ephemeral concerns is false honor, false faith. Those who came before us gave all that they were to carve a path with their bones and their blood. Our ancestors demand we rise above temporal concerns to take power in our grasp and continue the long march of destiny. Your prayers mean nothing, your offerings mean nothing. It is the forceful expression of will that gives true honor to the ancestors. Saint Forrest the Immortal. A bit direct for my liking, but you cannot deny the truth in his words.
There are a series of tombs mentioned to be in the vaults of the city of Necrom called the Indigo Scrolls. Is there anything you can share on the knowledge contained within these tomes?
For centuries, knowledge that the Indigo tomes even existed was a closely held secret. Their offhanded mention by that imbecile Tannion in his propagandist work of fiction has caused the Keepers of the Dead a small amount of grief. But, as always, the Great House stands ready to assist Necrom with any security issues it might encounter. I would have ignored this question entirely, but an apprentice I'm working with seeks veneration within the house by means of bar-scrying divinatory magics. I thought it might prove an interesting challenge. I am a harsh master, but a fair one, and their failure would have resulted in only a minor punishment. Happily, they succeeded. I look forward to addressing your inquiry with a personal conversation. Please let this be a lesson that an unembellished pen name will not save you from House Telvanni.
If the original Vardvarks are collectively a failed result of a Telvanni experiment gone awry, what was the intended outcome? What chimeric disaster were they expecting to make?
It is my understanding that Magister Varkanel was attempting to create a kind of domesticated predator. Initial trials were aimed at using ashland stock to transfigure something similar to the small felines found in households across the western part of the continent. Further experimentation would have increased its size and ferocity in an effort to create a novel kind of war beast. Falconel's failure is no doubt one of the most successful accidents in history of the Great House. The Archmagister at the time gave the doting father the honor of expanding his experimentation to allow for a proper breeding program, and of course to expand the Vodvark line with additional colorations and configurations. I believe they've even developed large-scale beasts suitable for acting as pack animals or riding mounts, though I'm unsure where in the process that effort might be.
The Telvanni are known for their talented mages, and perhaps most powerful among them is Divith Fer, who is compared to the likes of Shalador and Vanus Galerian. Do you know of any figures from my Breton race that I can look up to that measure up to their power and or accomplishments, perhaps even within Great House Telvanni?
First and foremost, you have my compliments for choosing such an appreciative way to request this information, Lady Ashcroft. Your fellow question writers could have taken a page from your tome, contextualizing your true goals within the framework of charming ubiquitousness. The comparison to Archmage Galarian is apt but short-sighted. The Mage's Guild is a halfway house for those with the magical aptitude to slowly float a quill over a parchment, or light the lanterns in Wayrest with incantations of Dark Elf child masters before their 10th year. In short, blackwits. That a talent like Vanus Galarian was shackled himself to that sprawling edifice to mediocrity proves that wisdom is no requirement for arcane power. Your touchstone to Shalador is more complimentary, but still flawed. The master of the Labyrinthian ultimately fell victim to short-sighted sentimentality. I do share agreement with some of his older writings about the role of spellcasters in civilized society. However, he also has the dubious distinction of owing me more outstanding favors than half of House Tavoni combined. I will eventually come to collect, old man. Count on it. You Bretons have a reputation for mystical aptitude, but I would argue that the cost of that success has been a lack of lasting impact on the greater magical community. I could find numerous instances of mage so-and-so making a splash with war magics for a few decades and then dying, or a great divinator prognosticating portentous events and then dying. Breton mages burn brightly but briefly. I suppose a sad commentary on the lifespan your uncaring gods have gifted you people. A gift then for you and the rest of your covenant kin seeking validation in the wider world. Research Sage Vornet, a scholar of the First Era who has come down to you as little more than a footnote, but was a keen and masterful manipulator of the magical arts in his time. The adventures and prominence of the man known to history is Goiron Vardengroot, that was not his true name, are vastly overblown by tale-telling, but speak to a powerful and wise Breton mage, and while I find the ethos of the druid cult to be pedestrian in the extreme, the druid king Kasorian was as powerful spellweaver as any to be found in the Direni culture his people fled from. This will have to satisfy for now. Please direct any follow-up correspondence to the university in my care. Perhaps if you found this educational, another exchange might be possible again in the future. If I can leave readers with a word of advice, it's this. I have lived for thousands of years without melancholy or misanthropy because I have always found something to engage my keen mind. Find hobbies, engage your faculties, stay curious, and never, ever cheat a Telvanni. And there we have it.
Woohoo!
There it is. Thanks for all of our readers coming on and getting these questions out so we can get these answers.
I thank God my mic was muted when you started in as the Argonian.
Oh my gosh.
I would have ruined the entire episode. Yep. Mm-hmm.
Never. Let me tell you right now. You doing voice acting, it really helps me keep in character with Daisy and Fear, because sometimes you do those voices, and I just go into like that weird like death glare type of face, and that really helps. That really helps keep that mood.
Oh, amazing.
Well, I'm just trying to do my part. Glad I could help.
Amazing. Oh my goodness. That was a good one. That was a really good Lore Masters archive.
That was solid. I liked it.
Like,
and I
very,
hate
very,
Daisy and Fear.
very fun reading. Yeah, he's so like snobby.
I mean, I'm not a fan for other reasons, but sure.
Well, yeah, there are, of course, but I'm just saying, like, he's very pompous even in the reading. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Oh yeah,
of course.
He's earned the right to be pompous. So
Yes, there are definitely other reasons.
He definitely has the right to be pompous. So fair, but gosh,
Yeah.
it was fun. I'm glad he was the one reading it. That was actually fun.
Yeah.
It was better than Narcissus, because yeah, that would have also been more fun. But
Ah.
Yep, fun times.
Bless Narcissus.
please
Wanna-
let the next Lore Masters archive be Narcissus narrating. If anyone's listening, I would really appreciate that. Please.
Oh, hold on. Pause for just a moment. They can hear you, I think. No, they can hear me, but not you.
Well, that's what you thought last time, but they could hear us in the episode, so I don't know.
Yeah, we'll find out. We'll
I
just
guess
talk
we'll
about nothing.
I guess we'll find out. I feel like Narcissus Dren did a Lore Masters archive. I'm actually going back to look now to see if I can find it.
I will
Lore.
totally reread an old nurse.
Lore Masters archive. I'm on the forum and I want to see. House Tovani, that was today. Druid Circles, Slave Rebellion. Oh wow, that was in 2015. That's from Abner Tharn.
Now are the lessons of Abnathar. Now.
Abner Tharn. I have to go back through. What is this one? Oh no. The Archaeology and Races of Tamriel?
What?
Oh boy. It was in August of 2015. By Lady Clarisse Laurent. Clarissa Laurent. Good old Lady Laurent.
All right.
Are you back?
I am back. Yeah, it doesn't. I don't think it
Welcome.
takes too long. I don't think we missed too much, but it's whenever you're at like the title
I don't-
screen. I think it doesn't let you record party audio at that point or
I don't
something.
know.
So I wasn't there very long. So no, we should be good. So for those listening later, sorry.
He didn't move his camera enough.
I had been actually, but sometimes that's not reliable. I move it every couple of minutes.
Yeah, I just stand
Shit.
up and sit down sometimes.
Shift my camera angles a little here and there. Anyway, yeah. So that was a cool read there, and a lot of stuff to dig in. We even talked some more about Vargvarks again, right?
Yeah.
I think that's great that it goes to expand and explain why they were given because they go back on the original creator. And then it also hints at potentially getting like Varg mounts and stuff later. And it explains why the different colors were allowed, and that why the experiment grew instead of it just being the end with the one Varg. Because we never really get that until this.
It's very true. It's very true.
I also think it's great. It does hint at we could potentially end up with Varg mounts.
A Vardvark mount.
Yeah, can you imagine a giant Vardvark? Give me a giant mossy Vardvark. Let's go. Could be fun.
Could be. Could be terrifying to see one of them things running at you with its little snout wiggling back and forth.
Also that. Also that.
Yeah. I bet we see it. I wouldn't be surprised. We'll see it.
We'll have to find out.
Maybe ESO 2.
Maybe.
There's a thought. We can dive into that another time. But at some point, do we think there will be an ESO 2? Like, I think at some point they kind of have to move on, right?
I think they will have to do that when they get to the point where there's too much code.
Yeah.
But also, like, I don't know. This game was in production for like 8 years or something, I think, before.
Mm-hmm.
So, you know, I don't know. I don't know. If they do, it most definitely will be next gen only, and PC only. I would gather.
Yeah, and that might be the point that they decide to go ahead and do crossplay and all that stuff. But anyway, like I said,
Right.
we can dive into that another time. Just a thought that popped into my head. Yeah, well, I guess that pretty well wraps up everything we have in the notes outside of our usual announcements and such. Do we have any new announcements? Pretty much the same things.
Nope, same things. Mondays with Moki, fishing or Cyrodiil Flex event, 8 p.m. Start to group probably around 7:30. You can sign up in the Lore Seekers Discord in the PlayStation calendar sign up channel. Come get your Master Angler achievement, or work on other achievements. That's the great thing about that event. Treacherous Tuesdays, we do have sign-ups for those currently as well for this coming week. Feel free to use the sign-ups of who's expressed interest to form groups. It's not like an official, like, this is a group at this time, because then we'd have to have way more of those invites than just one. But at least if you can express interest in, like, hey, I'm a person that wants to run on this particular, build or whatever, or in this particular role, then people know, and you can get hopefully a party built together to be able to do, like, lore runs of the dungeons and whatnot. Wednesday night trials are currently on hold, but never say never. If there is content that you would like to complete, if there is content that you would like to complete, definitely let someone know, and we will see about potentially trying to get something going for you for that. And then the last one that we currently have is our Fearless Friday with Arthuria Dragoon. That one is at 8 p.m. as well. So grouping starts before that. So, yeah. Those are our current guild announcements / events at the moment. If you have an idea for any events or anything like that, please feel free to reach out to one of us either via Discord, Twitter, email, whatever works best for you. And talk to us about it, because we'd love to hear your ideas.
If you're not a member of the guild and you want to be, so you can participate in these things, or come up with new things or whatever, you can join the guild by heading over to loreseekers.club, and there's links to everything there, and you can also just go to our direct link discord.gg/loreseekers-eso. Pretty simple, quick little process to get into the guild. Join the Discord, get invited in game, and come hang out. We are on PlayStation, Xbox, and PC, and largely in all all servers, PlayStation and Xbox EU servers, I think are a little slim at the moment, but
Pretty quiet, yeah.
yeah, but they do exist, and if you want to come help out with those things, that's something to consider there as well. So, as stated, you can reach out to us through Twitter and email and all those things. Gwen, where would they find us there?
At Snugpod Cast.
Everywhere.
Everywhere.
Yep. If you're watching us right now on Twitch or YouTube, you can also look us up on podcasts and check out the audio format. I usually try to have that up Wednesday and have the links that we talk about in the show posted in that. And if you're listening to this later and would like to catch future episodes live, you can go to twitch.tv/snugpodcast or search Snugpodcast on YouTube. Usually Sundays about 11 to 11:30 Eastern time is when we start.
Typically.
Yeah, sometimes it may be a little earlier or a little bit later because life is hectic and we just start when we can. But you can come hang out with us there. And yeah, so come check it out. And if you like what you hear, do all those things that helps other people find us, that kind of stuff. And I think that does it for this week. Anything else, ladies?
Nope.
Nope, not that I can think of.
Awesome possum. Well, until next time, everyone have a great week, and we will catch you on the next show.
And so you don't have to edit me in. Sleep well, Tamriel.
Oh my gosh, is that what you did? Is that why you had the cameo?
He did. He did.
Maybe I'll just go back in and edit it in anyway.
That would be such a mess.
That won't make it awkward at all.
Not at all. Just like this outro. Never.
Never. All right.
Well.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.